Create Art Podcast. Project NaPoWriMo, otherwise known as National Poetry Writing Month. Hello friends, this is Timothy Chemo Bryan, your head instigator for Create Art Podcast, where I bring my 20 plus years of experience in the arts and education world to help you tame your inner critic and create more than you consume. So this month is National Poetry Writing Month. Happens every April. And National Poetry Writing Month is known as NaPoWriMo, and it's a creative writing project. And what they do is they give you prompts. If you go to the NaPoWriMo website at napowrimo.net, and they'll give you 30 prompts for the 30 days in April. Now, on the website, you can also interact with other people. This year is going to be different from the previous years that I've done this project. This year, I'm going to be writing poetry throughout the year, and I am following a different prompt than the one that the National Poetry Writing Month folks do. Now, I've been doing poetry since 1988. I know for a lot of people here, they're like, whoa, the 1900s. But I've been doing it for a long time. I've been writing poetry for a long time and performing my poetry. So this year, like I said, I'm going to be writing all throughout the year. And the blog that I'm using is called Think Written. And the links for that will be in the show notes. I'm also going to be performing these works at Couture Coffee House here in Fredericksburg, Virginia on their Friday Night Snaps open mic poetry reading. You'll have a link for that again in the show notes. And a lot of people, they ask me, hey, Tim, why do you do this to yourself every year? And my answer to that is, if I'm going to ask you to be, taming your inner critic and creating things, then I need to be doing it too, right alongside you. So that's why this year I'm doing it a little bit different, but I will be interacting with the poets there on the NaPoWriMo site. And we'll see how this goes. I'm pretty excited to be doing it this way. Okay, so the prompt for today is that there is no prompt. I was just writing on something that happened during the day, a news story that happened. So, with that, this one's entitled Perspective. A 6-year-old shot their teacher on January the 6th. It was the second anniversary of those who send thoughts and prayers to gunshot victims and storm the Capitol and go to church on Sunday and say they are patriots and call people who jump when they hear a familiar crack in the air triggered snowflake libtards. A 6-year-old shot their teacher on January the 6th. That teacher was in critical condition. That teacher was forgotten because a football player who almost died on the field. The shooting didn't make the front page of a major newspaper. The prayers all went to the millionaire athlete. That teacher was probably underpaid, probably skipped a few meals to provide supplies for the kids in her class, probably never handled a handgun themselves. A 6-year-old shot their teacher on January the 6th. The metal detectors were off that day. The ones that fucking children, had to walk through without protest, without thought as to why they had to, as the lawgivers in Congress celebrated the removal and requirement of having to pass through those same detectors that their lackeys' actions caused to make the detectors necessary. That's true patriotism right there, folks. A 6-year-old shot their teacher on January the 6th, and now they are in custody. And now they are giving around-the-clock attention. And the question is, where a 6-year-old gets a handgun. And who taught the child to fire it? And who taught the child to use it in anger? And who taught the child? Who do we hold responsible? Who pays for the trauma of the ensuing lockdown, where kids accept what they are told? Pretend you are dead. Be quiet. Don't move. No matter how many shots are fired, stay down. A 6-year-old shot their teacher on January the 6th. A 74-year-old man-child in his Florida resort who instigated a riot, who stole top-secret documents, whose crimes have been revealed time and time again, sips his Diet Coke and munches on his Big Macs, inflames the weak-minded, loves the ignorant, loves the children as long as they satisfy his carnal needs. He walks free. A 6-year-old shot their teacher on January the 6th. How many days have gone by? How many other teachers have been shot or assaulted? How many other insurrectionists in other countries need to happen to satiate old men's pride? I stand here, doing all I can not to cry. Here I stand, a witness to a 14-year-old boy in a faraway land being shot and stripped in front of being shot and strapped to the front of a jeep, paraded in front of his village as a warning. Did it happen on January the 6th? I can't remember. Should we just accept this horrid portrayal of Groundhog's Day and relive another shooting every day? A 6-year-old shot their teacher on January the 6th. And on January the 13th, my children must practice their lockdown drill, so that some inbred small-dick asshat can clutch lustfully to his Second Amendment, an amendment he probably doesn't know by heart, an amendment he doesn't say, an amendment that doesn't say what he thinks it says. A 6-year-old shot their teacher on January the 6th. A 6-year-old shot their teacher on January the 6th. A 6-year-old shot their teacher on January the 6th. Let that sink in. Let it permeate your brain. A 6-year-old shot their teacher. A 6-year-old shot. A 6-year-old. All right, so that was my poem for this day for National Poetry Writing Month. I hope you enjoyed it. You can go right to the website, createartpodcast.com. And you can go ahead and comment right there in the comment section if you like. Now, something I'd like to ask you is, if you enjoyed it, shoot me an email, timothy@createartpodcast.com. I want to hear about your journey, and I want to hear about what you're working on. And if you'd like to be on the show or, would like to discuss a topic that's giving you trouble, well, then go ahead and email me. Let's start that conversation. I also want to let you know about another podcast that I do, and that one is called Find a Podcast About, and that's where I help you find your next binge-worthy podcast and outsmart that algorithm. You can find that podcast at findapodcastabout.xyz. Last thing I'd like to say here is if you found value in the show, let me know. Pass it on to a friend. If you have ideas on what I could do better to make this a 5-star podcast, I want to hear about those too. I want to be helping you with your art, to be bold with your art, as I do it right beside you. I'll see you next time.